was young, I was told that there was a creek lined with gold, solid gold.
Hey everyone, welcome back to a special edition of the Three Muska Miners. We're going to be taking a trip into Cripple Creek, Colorado. For many years, Cripple Creek's high valley was just considered a cattle pasture at 9,494 feet, 44 miles west of Colorado Springs at the base of Pikes Peak. Robert Bob Womack discovered a rich vein of gold, but it took 12 more years to convince people that there was gold there, as Bob Womack was quite the alcoholic.
That's the Mollie. You want to go to Cripple Creek first or go there?
Doesn't matter. Let's drive into Cripple Creek.
Looks pretty busy already.
That's new. I haven't seen that. Cripple Creek is the county seat of Teller County, Colorado. The population is about 1,100, 1,200 people. And Cripple Creek is a historic mining district and also now a gambling community. There was over $500 million worth of gold ore dug from Cripple Creek. However, Bob Womack died penniless on August 10th of 1909. By 1900, Cripple Creek and its sister city, Victor, were substantial mining districts. Through 2005, the Cripple Creek Mining District produced about 23.5 million troy ounces of gold. The gold-bearing area of Cripple Creek Mining District was the core of an ancient volcano, Pikes Peak. It was last active over 30 million years ago. We're going to explore the Mollie Kathleen mine, go down 1,000 feet underground and explore that. And then we're also going to look at the open pit mine that's run by the Cripple Creek and Victor Gold Mining Company and also run currently by the Newmont Mining Company. That mine operates 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The Mollie Kathleen was started in 1891 on a mining claim staked by Mollie Kathleen Gortner. Other than being shut down during World War II, the mine has operated continuously until 1961. Since then, it has operated as a tourist attraction. I would urge anyone that wants to come on this tour to do so soon, as the Newmont mine, the open pit mine, is gradually working its way west and will soon encompass all of the land that the Mollie Kathleen is on. Once the open pit mine starts to take over the Mollie Kathleen, that will be the end of all the tours. And it will be the end of all this rich history. This is only a small sampling of the Mollie Kathleen mine tour. I would urge all of you to come to get the complete tour and learn of the rich history of the Mollie Kathleen.
It doesn't matter.
So I'll turn it over to our tour guide. Enjoy the rich history of the Mollie Kathleen.
Miners and the equipment up and down on this side. And over here in front of us to the south, there's another compartment. That is called a manway, and that is a series of ladders that runs all the way from the surface down to the 1,000-foot level. So if there's ever a problem with a hoist breaking down or a power outage or something along that line, we can climb up out of the mine on those ladders. And if you're in good shape, it takes about an hour, hour and a half to climb out of the mine on that 1,000-foot ladder. So you don't want to do that today. And in the shaft, and then nice and slow. That's good. Watch yourself coming off now. And so right now we're in the Gold King crosscut here, and we'll go on back here for just a little bit. So mining as opposed to like coal mining, as you notice, there's no timber in down here. It's very solid rock. It's Pikes Peak granite, so it takes a lot of drilling and blasting to get this rock out of here. And those old timers back in the 1890s, they did all that work by hand, if you can imagine. So these are the holes that we put in the rock here to put our dynamite in to blast the rock out. And the old timers, they had to drill those holes with sledgehammers and hand steel. And so this small sledgehammer, this is what we call a single jack, and then this is your drill steel. You're sometimes called a bowl steel, and you put that up against the rock, and every time you hit it with that single jack, well, you turn it, and that kind of helps drill the hole out more evenly. And this is when you're working alone, you use those tools. If you had a partner, you got into what they call the double jacking method, and you can see the guy sitting down on his haunches there. He has a piece of drill steel up on his shoulder, and then the guy behind him has the big sledgehammer, and every time he hits that piece of drill steel with that double jack, well, the guy rotates it, and like I said, it helps to drill the hole out more evenly. And needless to say, the guy with the sledgehammer has to have very good aim. He clocks his partner in the back of the head with that double jack. They trade off on that job every so often in payback, so we all know about paybacks. And the other complication they had here back in the 1890s, they were working by candlelight, so each miner was allowed 3 candles at the beginning of his shift, and so between the two of them, they'd have 6 candles to last the entire day. And to give you an idea what that's like, so if you can imagine trying to hit that piece of drill steel in this kind of light, again, you had to have good aim.
Holy smokes.
And then this is what it's like when we're mining down here. It's darker in the inside of a cow down there when you're mining, because if we had all these electric lights in here, every time we blast, we'd knock the lights out. So the only light that we have to work by is this one light that I'm holding. This is a headlamp that goes up on your hard hat, and this is an LED bulb in here. It's on a rechargeable battery, and it'll last about 72 hours on one charge. So it's a very dependable light that you want to take good care of it, because it's the only light you have down there. A lot easier. I was doing that in kind of slow motion, and we normally fill the bucket with rock, but I had a brother-in-law, Charlie, and Charlie was really good and fast on one of these bucket machines, and he could fill this ore car here in about 2 minutes, and they're all pretty well interconnected down underground, and we connect the mines together for a lot of different reasons, for ventilation, so we get good airflow through here, and then also for water drainage and for safety. If you get trapped in one mine, well, you can walk out to another mine and get out on that other mine. And then sometimes the veins of gold will go from one mining claim into the next mining claim. So by just mining on that vein of gold, that connects the mines together. And you can actually walk from this Mollie Kathleen mine here to the Ajax mine in Victor, 6 miles underground through the mine. So there's thousands of miles of tunnels down here. It's easy to get lost down here. And this machine, it takes anywhere from 80 to 120 pounds of air pressure for that to operate properly. So as we get down through here, you'll see that compressed air line is right beside the track here. And like I say, the compressed air comes down from the surface. So that line right below your feet there, that's actually a water drain line. Here on the Mollie Kathleen, they go a little down and go, come on, push. There you go. Hey, you're doing good. Look at that. Wow, you're doing good. That's good. You're good. I was being in front of you, too, because you were pushing that uphill. When we put this track in here, we put it in here on a 1% downhill grade to the shaft. So when you have a full car of muck like this, where you're actually going downhill to the shaft, and then when you come back with an empty, where you're pushing up that 1% grade back, and it's a lot of work.
That'd be with a gram a ton.
Yeah, well, it's pretty small. It doesn't take much. And those old timers, they wanted to get away from those sledgehammers and hand steel, and so they came up with these pneumatic drilling machines, and these, of course, operate on compressed air. And they work a lot on the same principle as like a little jackhammer you see out there on the street. And so this machine is called a drifter. It's used for horizontal type drilling, and it's on this. That's enough of that. But anyway, it both hammers that drill steel in the rock and rotates it, and it drills the hole out pretty quickly. These in the mines today, this is a Gardner Denver 83. It weighs roughly 85 pounds. One man can pretty well handle this machine on his own, and this operates on a telescopic leg. This leg extends out there, and so with this machine, all you have to do is just put in one long drill steel. You can see that one sticking out of the hole there, and you can drill the hole back in there 6 foot deep in about 2.5 or 3 minutes, so it's pretty quick. And normally we show you the jack leg, but we got that steel hung up in there. It's a long story, but anyway, so that's the jack leg there. And then this is what a more modern mine would look like if we were blasting down here today. And I've worked a lot of the old timers, my dad and all, and we did things the old-fashioned way over there on the other side, but it's kind of the same thing here. You have this little short stick of dynamite here, and on the inside of that is this time delay detonator. And so these two, they still go to the very back of the hole. And then down in this bottle here, this is what we call Cripple. And Cripple is ammonium nitrate. It's a fertilizer. and you mix it with diesel fuel and it becomes highly explosive. It's the same thing they used in Oklahoma City in that bombing down there in Oklahoma City, unfortunately. This is your pearl bucket here. You fill that full of pearl beads, and then this is the pearl gun. And under high pressure, that gun, it'll spray that pearl back in the hole behind that primer stick. And it just packs itself in there nice and tight. So. And this is called a heading here. We work 2 miners to a heading, so you and your partner would work this together. And what you're supposed to accomplish down here in 8 hours is what they call a round in and a round out. And what that involves is when you come to work in the morning, there's anywhere from 15 to 20 ton of rock that's been blasted out from the night before. And so you shovel up all of that loose rock and you take it back out to the main shaft, the haul up out of the mine. And then once you get all the loose rock out of here, where you set up this drilling machine, and you drill out all those holes, and then you load the holes with the dynamite or the explosive, and right at the end of the day, where you set the dynamite off, and that is called a round in and a round out in 8 hours. So we would advance 6 foot ahead of the tunnel down here every 8 hours, 6 feet. And people ask me what this white stuff is in the walls down here. It snowed down here 3 or 4 days ago, so it's magnesium sulfate, it's Epsom salt, so it's the same thing you take a bath in, and it just leaches out of the rock when the water in the air gets to what comes out of the rock. And I actually recommend that you don't touch that, and I'll tell you why here in a little bit. Now let's
Get a lighter.
Hey, good. That's all right. Go skip it. And it's in this piece of rock here too. And that purple rock, it's called fluorite, or the old timers call it fluorine. And that's a very good indicator of gold-bearing ore. Anytime we find that purplish rock like that, well, there's usually gold with it. And if you have any doubt about it, take a little grab sample, some of the loose rock out of the vein, and you put it in a small canvas bag like that over there, and you send that up to the assay office. And the assayer, he tells you how much gold you're getting per ton. And if there's enough gold in the rock, well, then you go ahead and mine the vein on out. And just to give you a little background on Cripple Creek and Victor, this district at one time, it was all a big volcanic bowl. And when that volcano exploded, why it cracked and fractured the solid granite. And then the gold and the silver were brought up from way down in the depths of the earth and forced up into those cracks and fractures, along with other molten rock from all the heat and the pressure of that volcano. As things began to cool off, why the gold and silver and the molten rock had re-solidified in those cracks and fractures. And that's how our veins were formed in this area. And most all the veins in this district, they run vertically. We very seldom ever find a vein with a gold ore line on the horizontal. So on these vertical veins, those old timers, they soon came to realize that it was much easier to come underneath the vein of gold and mine back towards the surface on that vein and let the rock fall down by gravity, rather than mining down on the vein and having gravity working against you all the time. So they came up with the stope mining, and that is spelled S-T-O-P-E. And this is actually the beginning of the stope here. This is called a raised. And this is the vein going through this piece of rock here. That's that purple fluorite through the center and all. But on the outside of that is the waste rock or the host rock. That's the stuff we throw away. But everything out of that vein, it has to go to the mill and the smelter. And this rock, it does have to go through a very extensive milling and smelting process to get the gold out of the rock. I'll talk more about that later on. This vein is only like 2 or 3 inches wide here, but there are some veins on the mines around here, and this is just an example. But there are some veins of gold that are 50 or 60 feet wide, so they go very long. And the gold in this vein is fairly microscopic, but I'll show you some high grade later on, where we can actually see the gold in the rock, so that'll be coming up here a little later. Now, the layer trammer was actually invented right here in Cripple Creek, so as you go down through here, you'll see one of the very first ones they ever came out with. It's on the right as we're going through here, and at first they called that an air donkey because it took the place of the donkeys, but anyway. So there's that little air locomotive, one of the very first ones they ever came out with. That was almost too small to do the job, but it got them started building those air trams. And when I have the kids down here, I tell them that's our version of Thomas the Train, right?